Hello there, welcome to my channel. My name is Eddie. So this is video 3 of Surah 3, which is called Surah Ali Imran. Imran being the father of Mary, who was the mother of Jesus. And so far I've done 66 verses. And previously I noticed there was a lot of talk about not believing, about how it's important to believe. And there's also talk about, Allah's greatness, and also about the debates between Christians, Jews, and Muslims in Medina. The Christians coming up from Yemen, which I thought was really cool. They come up on horseback, and there were some leaders, and they were debating Muslims. So yeah, on what Abraham believed. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be talking a bit more about this in the following verses. So I've just got a 30-word summary of Surah Ali Imran. Surah Ali Imran emphasizes God's oneness, continuity of revelation, the stories of Mary and Jesus, Abraham's true faith, steadfastness after Uhud, and unity, urging believers to remain faithful and obedient. And then a 20-word summary of verses 67 to 110, which is what I'm hoping to get through in this video. Abraham was neither Jew nor Christian, but a monotheist. Believers are urged to uphold truth and become a just, exemplary community. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, I might as well get straight into it. So I've got Quran.com. I'm going to be pressing play, and so the Arabic viewers can hear the Arabic and read the Arabic. I'll be reading the English, and I'll be making notes. And I might stop the video occasionally just to read it, because I sometimes struggle to listen and read at the same time. But anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, please comment below, and please comment below where you're from, and yeah, say hi, and awesome. Okay, let's go.
ما كان إبراهيم يهوديا ولا نصرانيا ولكن كان حنيفا مسلما وما كان من المشركين إن أولى الناس بإبراهيم للذين اتبعوه وهذا النبي والذين آمنوا والله.
So I paused already. Indeed, those who have the best claim to Abraham are his followers, this prophet, and the believers, and Allah is the guardian of those who believe. Let's click on this footnote. Muhammad, I see. Cool.
من أهل الكتاب لو يضلونكم وما يضلون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون يا أهل الكتاب لم تكفرون بآيات الله وأنتم تشهدون يا أهل
sorry. Cool. Oh, sorry, 71. O people of the book, why do you mix truth with falsehood and hide the truth knowingly? This is going to be interesting.
لم تلبسون الحق بالباطل وتكتمون الحق وأنتم تعلمون وقالت طائفة من أهل الكتاب آمنوا بالذي أنزل على الذين آمنوا وجه النهار
A group among the people of the book said to one another, believe in what has been revealed to the believers in the morning and reject it in the evening so they may abandon their faith. Right, let me have a quick look what that means. The envy the Jews feel towards Muslims, their wicked plots against Muslims. Allah states that while the Jews envy the faithful and wish they could misguide them, Allah states that the punishment of this behaviour will fall back upon them while they are unaware. Allah criticizes them. Okay. This is a wicked plan from the people of the book, i.e. Christians, to deceive Muslims who are weak in the religion. They decided that they would pretend to be believers in the beginning of the day by attending the dawn prayer with the Muslims. Gosh, However, when their day ended, they would revert to their old religion, so that the ignorant people would say they reverted to their old religion because they uncovered some shortcomings in the Islamic religion. This is why they said next. Wow. Because they uncovered some shortcomings in the Islamic religion. Gosh.
آخره لعلهم يرجعون.
Right. Interesting. So interesting.
ولا تؤمنوا إلا لمن تبع دينكم قل إن الهدى هدى الله أن يؤتى أحد مثل ما أوتيتم أو يحاجوكم عند ربكم قل إن الفضل بيد الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله واسع عليم يختص برحمته من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم ومن أهل الكتاب من إن تأمنه بقنطار يؤده إليك ومنهم من إن تأمنه بدينار لا يؤده إليك إلا ما دمت عليه قائما.
There are some of the people of the book who, if entrusted with a stack of gold, will readily return it. Yeah, there are others who, if entrusted with a single coin, will not repay it unless you constantly demand it. This is because they say we are not accountable for exploiting the Gentiles. And so the attribute lies to Allah knowingly. Gosh. Wow, interesting.
ذلك بأنهم قالوا ليس علينا في الأميين سبيل ويقولون على الله الكذب وهم يعلمون بلى من أوفى بعهده واتقى فإن الله يحب المتقين إن الذين يشترون بعهد الله وأيمانهم ثمنا قليلا أولئك لا خلاق لهم في الآخرة ولا يكلمهم الله ولا ينظر إليهم يوم القيامة ولا يزكيهم ولهم عذاب أليم وإن منهم لفريقا يلوون ألسنتهم بالكتاب لتحسبوه من الكتاب وما هو من الكتاب ويقولون هو من عند الله وما هو من عند الله ويقولون على الله الكذب وهم يعلمون ما كان لبشر أن يؤتيه الله الكتاب والحكم والنبوة ثم يقول للناس كونوا عبادا لي من دون الله ولكن كونوا ربانيين بما كنتم أيأمركم بالكفر بعد إذ أنتم مسلمون وإذ أخذ الله ميثاق النبيين لما آتيتكم من كتاب وحكمة ثم جاءكم رسول مصدق لما معكم
Remember when Allah made a covenant with the Prophet, saying, "Now that I have given you the book and wisdom, if there comes to you a messenger confirming what you have, you must believe in him and support him." He added, "Do you affirm this covenant, accept this commitment?" They said, "Yes, we do." Allah said, "Then bear witness, and I too am a witness."
لتنصرنه قال أأقررتم وأخذتم على ذلكم إصري قالوا أقررنا قال فاشهدوا وأنا معكم من الشاهدين فمن تولى بعد ذلك فأولئك هم الفاسقون أفغير دين الله يبغون وله أسلم من في السماوات والأرض طوعا.
Do they desire a way other than Allah's, knowing that all those in the heavens and the earth submit to his will willingly or unwillingly, and to him they will all be returned? Knowing that all those in the heavens and the earth. What does it mean by they will all be returned? I see.
وكرها وإليه يرجعون قل آمنا بالله وما أنزل علينا وما أنزل على إبراهيم وإسماعيل وإسحاق ويعقوب والأسباط وما أوتي موسى وعيسى والنبيون من ربهم لا نفرق بين أحد منهم ونحن له مسلمون ومن يبتغ غير الإسلام دينا فلن يقبل منه وهو في الآخرة من الخاسرين كيف يهدي الله قوما كفروا بعد إيمانهم وشهدوا أن الرسول حق وجاءهم البينات.
How will Allah guide a people who chose to disbelieve after they had believed, acknowledged the messenger to be true, and received clear proofs? Wrongdoing. Allah does not guide the wrongdoing people.
Okay. والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين أولئك جزاؤهم أن عليهم لعنة الله والملائكة والناس أجمعين خالدين فيها لا يخفف عنهم العذاب ولا هم ينظرون إلا الذين تابوا من بعد ذلك وأصلحوا فإن الله غفور رحيم إن الذين كفروا بعد إيمانهم ثم ازدادوا كفرا لن تقبل توبتهم وأولئك هم الضالون إن الذين كفروا وماتوا وهم كفار فلن يقبل من أحدهم ملء الأرض ذهبا ولو افتدى به أولئك لهم عذاب أليم وما لهم من ناصرين لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون وما تنفقوا من شيء فإن الله به عليم كل الطعام كان حلا لبني إسرائيل إلا ما حرم إسرائيل على نفسه من قبل أن تنزل التوراة قل فأتوا بالتوراة فاتلوها إن كنتم صادقين فمن افترى على الله الكذب من بعد ذلك فأولئك هم الظالمون قل صدق الله فاتبعوا ملة إبراهيم حنيفا وما كان من المشركين إن أول بيت وضع للناس للذي ببكة مباركا وهدى للعالمين فيه آيات بينات مقام إبراهيم ومن دخله.
In it are clear signs and the standing place of Abraham. Whoever enters it should be safe. Pilgrimage to this house is an obligation by Allah upon whoever is able among the people. Footnote, pilgrimage, yes, that's to Mecca, is it? Okay, and whoever disbelieves, and surely Allah is not in need of any of his creation.
كان آمنا ولله على الناس حج البيت من استطاع إليه سبيلا ومن كفر فإن الله غني عن العالمين قل يا أهل الكتاب لم تكفرون بآيات الله والله شهيد على ما
Say, O Prophet, O people of the book. So Muhammad was saying, O people of the book, why do you deny the revelations of God when Allah is a witness to what you do? The disbelief and blocking the path of Allah. In this ayah, Allah criticizes the disbelievers of the book for their refusing the truth, rejecting Allah's ayah, and hindering those who seek to believe from his path, although they know that what the messenger has sent with is the truth from Allah.
تعملون قل يا أهل الكتاب لم تصدون عن سبيل الله من آمن تبغونها عوجا وأنتم شهداء وما الله بغافل عما تعملون يا أوتوا الكتاب يردوكم بعد إيمانكم كافرين.
Who envy the believers for the favour of Allah by sending his messenger. Allah warns his believing servants against obeying the people of the book who envy the believers for the favour that Allah gave them by sending his messenger. Similarly, Allah said. Interesting. Right, I think that's the end of number 100. Yeah. So at the beginning, I think I said I was going to 110, but I got my maths wrong. So there's 200 verses. So at the end of video 3, I should be up to 100 now. So just to honour your time, so it's not a huge video for me to upload as well, I'll stop here and then I'll go back and give my answers to, or my questions and answers and thoughts. So, I'm going to go back to my previous page, to number 67. There it is. I'll just leave a message for my fiance. Oh, she hasn't messaged me. Okay, right. Okay, so awesome. Okay, so here we go. Number 67. Abraham was neither a Jew nor a Christian. He submitted his uprightness and was not a polytheist. From a Christian perspective, we believe in one God. I don't think you'll ever find a Christian who says they believe in three. And on that note, I say respectfully, obviously, I'm not trying to argue with anyone or anything. No other religions say to us that we believe in three gods. Okay, 69. Some of the people of the book wish to mislead you, believers. They misled none but themselves, yet they failed to perceive it. I would say respectfully, from a Western Christian perspective, who hasn't grown up in a Muslim country, I can't see how we can be misleading you, because for us to mislead you, there must be some way of you proving that we mislead you, and I don't think the evidence is there to show that we have been misleading when we're talking about Christianity. I know there's a lot of debates between Christians and Muslims, but Christianity stands up historically and philosophically, and millions of people around the world have had encounters with Christ. Those things don't prove Christianity to be true, but I believe when you put it as a tray of evidence and present it to someone like a jury, I think the evidence is, in my opinion, as a Christian, vastly in favour of it being true over other religions. But obviously I still love you Muslims and I respect you, you know what I mean? I'm just giving you my Christian opinion. 70. Okay, 70. People of the book, why do you reject the signs of Allah while bear witness to their truth? Why you bear witness to their truth? Does that mean bear witness to their truth, meaning what we believe? Oh yeah, hang on. Well, I've just got to quickly check this. ChatGPT, is people of the book in the Quran, is that Christians or Jews or both? I always thought it was Christians. Jews and Christians. Interesting. Okay. So why do you reject the signs of Allah while you bear witness to their truth? So that tafsir said that it was referring to the Jews, but interesting. So in my opinion, from a Christian perspective, and again, like I said, I love you Muslims, I'm not criticising you or trying to beat down on you or anything like that, but from my perspective, I've had signs that a lot of signs that Christianity is true, but I haven't seen any signs that Islam is true. For example, archaeology. I don't understand why, and I say again this respectfully, in dialogue. I don't mean to offend anyone, but why Saudi Arabia hasn't been dug up to find earlier Qurans, you know what I mean? Because, like, for example, the Sana manuscript is the first like kind of major copy of the Quran, which is about 700 AD. And then you've got like the Birmingham folios from possibly around Muhammad's time, but that's 4 pages or 2 pages with stories from prior to Muhammad. Whereas if you dug up Saudi Arabia, you could possibly find one of the Qurans that is it Uthman, when he collected all in 652 collected all the writings from tablets and from stones and stuff, and then he put them onto, was it 9 Qurans, and he sent them off to the major cities, but they aren't in those cities. I think if there was a big archaeological thing all across the Middle East, then we could settle this debate. We could look for an original Injil, because obviously you guys believe in a different, that you believe the Injil is different to what we think it is. We obviously think it's the 4 Gospels. You believe it's like a verbal, as far as I'm aware, please correct me if I'm wrong, a verbal gospel from Jesus. And then the Torah, we have the Dead Sea Scrolls from 300 BC. But if there's a different Torah, then it should be, if they excavated all the old churches in Yemen and the Middle East, for example, Medina had a huge Jewish population there. We could settle this debate. And then there's other reasons as well, but there's no point me speaking too much, I guess, because then then you guys will get overwhelmed with all my information, and you reply, and then I'll get overwhelmed with all the stuff you've written back, and then, so I'll leave it at that, okay? But like I said, I still love you Muslims, and I think you're awesome. So, 71. The people of the book, why do you mix the truth with falsehood and hide the truth knowingly? So again, from my perspective, Western way of looking at it, I would say, how do you know that they are hiding the truth knowingly? I mean, I guess from your perspective, you would say that God has told Muhammad this. But then my perspective in reply to that would be, well, why would the Christians do it knowingly? Like if it's like me saying I'm Jewish, but I'm actually a Christian. To me, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, please explain that. Apologies for my ignorance if I'm misinterpreting it. 72. A group among the people of the book said to one another, believe in what has been revealed to the believers in the morning and reject it in the evening, so that they may abandon their faith. Yeah, I'd like to know when that was written. ChatGPT, Surah 3, Ali Imran, verse 72. When was that written? Was that written in Medina or Mecca, please? It's classified as a Medinan surah because it addresses interactions with Jews and Christians. It discusses debates with Jewish groups in Medina. It reflects a period after the Prophet Muhammad's migration, Hijrah, to Medina in 622. It connects to events like the aftermath of the Battle of Uhud in 625. Verse 72 specifically refers to a group among the people of the book attempting to create doubt among believers. Muslims were living alongside Jewish tribes. Interesting. And then reject it in the evening. That is interesting. So I guess what it's saying in that verse is that they would change their mind throughout the day. It's interesting, isn't it? I would have loved to have seen those debates. Pretty cool, isn't it? Okay. Verse 74. He chooses whoever he wills to receive his mercy, and Allah is the Lord of infinite bounty. Yeah, so I think I clicked on that, but what does it mean by infinite bounty? ChatGPT, what does it mean by infinite bounty in verse 74? What does infinite bounty mean? The Arabic is Du al Fadl al Azim. How's my Arabic? Probably not very good. Which literally means owner, possessor of immense or tremendous grace. Cool. Oop, that's my stomach. 77. Indeed, those who trade Allah's covenant and their oaths for a fleeting gain will have no share in the hereafter. So I thought that was pretty cool because Allah's warning them against, short-term materialism, I guess, or gains in status and power and wealth. So the Quran's saying, look towards eternity, look towards God, as opposed to, in Christianity, we'd call it like things of the flesh, Interesting. I noticed in the previous two Surah al-Bukhari, there was a lot of similarities between Christianity and Islam. Yeah, I put here number 78, disputes in theology, which I thought was pretty interesting. There are those among who distort the book with their tongues to make you think this distortion is from the book, but it is not what the book says. They say it is from Allah, but it is not from Allah. So they attribute lies to Allah knowingly. That's interesting, isn't it? So what the Quran is saying is that the Christians and the Jews were like, I'm not trying to teach you guys, obviously, but I suppose I'm just thinking out loud. Obviously you guys know this a lot better than I do. And if I explain something that's really obvious, I'm just explaining it to Christians who might be watching this, or atheists. And then obviously I'm thinking out loud a lot of the time as well. So the Quran is saying that the Christians and the Jews are knowingly lying, which I would like to know, if they were doing that, what their motives would be. Okay. On the subject of lying, there are obviously Christians who do lie, some famous ones. So I'm not saying we're perfect or anything, but not lying is quite a big thing in Christianity, because it says in the Bible that Satan is the father of lies, that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And there's a lot of verses on us watching our tongue and stuff like that. So, Muslims don't accuse. I don't think I've heard you accuse me of lying. Maybe a couple might have, in the hundreds of comments I don't know, but I've been accused a lot by, and again, I'm not knocking atheists, I'm not going to dig at them. There's a lot of cool atheists, a lot of nice ones, reasonable ones, but a lot of them have accused me of lying, and I've just been like, no, that's literally one of the last things I would do. I'm not perfect by any means. We Christians are definitely not perfect. We're a work in progress. But something I really try not to do, that is intentionally lie. Obviously, we can all tell misinformation without realising it. Stuff that we've heard and we believed. But we generally try our best, or born again Christians, to not intentionally lie. That's why I find it interesting, reading this in the Quran. 79. Oh, I'm up to 91 now. It's very interesting. What did I say here? Okay. Indeed, if each of those who disbelieve then die as disbelievers were to offer ransom of enough gold to fill the whole world, it would never be accepted from them. It is they who will suffer painful punishment, and they will have no helpers. So that's very interesting. So basically Allah's saying, doesn't matter how much money you earn to offer me sacrifice, but they'll suffer a painful punishment, and there'll be no one to help them. So I think I said this in the previous video and other videos. I think it's healthy to have a fear of God. The Bible, fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. And in the Bible, especially the Old Testament, there's a lot of carrot and stick, do this and things will work for you. Do this, or don't do what I want you to do and things won't work out for you. So 92, you will never achieve righteousness unless you donate some of what you cherish. And whatever you give is certainly well known to Allah. So that's nice, isn't it? It's basically about making sacrifice. and whatever you cherish. It doesn't even have to be money. It could be your time. Yeah, it could be your those habits that you don't want to give up. You know what I mean? Or maybe like those, I don't know. For example, someone likes horror movies and they know God doesn't like it, but they watch them anyway. A sacrifice for that person could be giving up those movies, couldn't it? So yeah, that's quite a good spiritual practice, I think, to sacrifice. But then I find it interesting. Yeah, you'll never achieve righteousness until you donate some of what you cherish. So interesting because it says some of what you cherish, not even all of it. So that's pretty fair, isn't it? We believe in Christianity that you get righteousness if you put your faith in Christ's finished work on the cross. You are righteous, and you can walk that out. But then also we're sanctified, but also in a process of sanctification. Sorry, we're justified, but in the process of sanctification. And so that means we are a work in progress, and we are taking Bible verses, we are praying into them, we're confessing them, and we are again renewal of the mind, changing our thinking according to the Bible, which then makes us in the material world righteous. But ultimately, when we die, our righteousness is in what Christ did. So when I die and God judges me, there's nothing I can do that will be good enough. I would just have to point to Christ and just say, this is what he did on the cross for me. So that's a Christian theology, if you're interested. 93. All food was lawful for the children of Israel except what Israel made unlawful for himself before the Torah was revealed. That's interesting, isn't it? So that's saying that the Israelites were saying that foods were unclean or unlawful before the Torah was even revealed. It's basically saying it's man-made laws, isn't it? Bring the Torah and read it if your claims are true. So Muhammad says, bring the Torah and read it if your claims are true. So is he saying there, like, show me in the Torah the rules that you've set yourself regarding laws to do with food? It's pretty interesting. Yeah, feel free to reply. If you don't reply to that, no worries, I can always Google it. But I'll move on just to honour time. 95. Say a prophet, Allah has declared the truth, so follow the way of Abraham, the upright, who was not a polytheist. So yeah, again, as I mentioned earlier, we don't claim to believe in more than one God. We believe in one God, but three persons. This is like one of the biggest things that's just debated, isn't it, between Christians and Muslims. 96. Surely the first house of worship established for humanity is the one at Bakka, a blessed sanctuary and a guide for all people. And then, so I was like, Bakka? But then in the next, I think I typed in, pressed the tafsir and it said Mecca, didn't it? 98. Oops. Say a prophet, O people of the book, why do you deny the revelations of Allah when Allah is a witness to what you do? So is that basically saying, like, why do you deny Allah when Allah can see everything you're doing? So I can't speak for them in the 7th century, but for me personally, I touched on it earlier, didn't I? One of my big things is the historical side of things, archaeological. Yeah, thank you very much. And I enjoyed that. I hope you did too. I forgot to say the prayer at the beginning. So I'm in a fluster. I'm trying to remember what to do. But anyway, I just say, dear God, thank you for my Muslim audience. Thank you for my atheist audience. Thank you for my Christian audience. And all the people, whatever their belief system is, who are watching this video. I just pray for blessings over them, Lord. I pray for good mental health, good spiritual health, good physical health. I pray for strong families. I pray for a lot of love in their life, Lord. I pray for strong families that are unified. I pray for success at their workplace. And yeah, I pray that we can keep building to learn to get to know each other. And we give you all the glory, all the praise. We love you. Amen. Cool. Thank you for watching. God bless you. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Goodbye.